So it's been a little while since I've uploaded. Things were slowed down a little bit, and then suddenly it was like everything happened all at once. So we'll kind of go over kind of what's been happening. So I've finished pulling all my speaker wire for everything there. I've got boxes mounted. Everything's got putty pads in behind it there. There's four on the top for Atmos, 2 rears, 3 on the front, and then there's basically 1 on this side and then 1 over on this side here. As well as all the electrical's basically been pulled. I actually have my electrician coming tomorrow, so this light's going to go away along with all the lights that are currently on in the basement. Temporarily got a little bit of an LED light strip to help out. I've also been finishing HVAC. Originally I had just basically like your standard vents kind of like this here, but to deal with the soundproofing I actually ended up basically taking a 5-inch tube. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, and then it actually goes into a 6-inch increaser and goes to a 6-inch flexible tube. So basically we run like an S shape along here so that there's no way for the sound to basically travel straight through. I've also been adding in linear slot diffusers here for this. They're actually, probably won't be able to see, they're actually insulated on the inside there, so that'll reduce the sound even more. I've also put some mats, some like basically car mats on the HVAC here. So what that will do is actually reduce some of the vibrations that might come through there. I even put a little bit on my furnace to help out with that. The office is mostly pretty much complete. I ended up, actually one of the things I'm going to be doing is this one right here for the outlet. It'll actually be hooked up from my storage room and then actually running off of a UPS. So it'll actually have a male end at that end and then the female end over here. So then I can actually use the UPS that supplies power there to supply my power here, which will be much better for my PC. I also ended up pulling all my Cat 6 wires as well as fiber. So these are all single mode armored fibers here. So that will basically give me the option of, well, I mean, depending if I can afford it, 1.6 terabytes a second. Not that I can afford $3,000 in receivers right now, but anyways. Lights done. Another linear slot diffuser. Flexible foot piece there, so any noise that goes up in there won't come back. I'm actually going to be fixing this cold air return as well, speaking of HVAC. Basically this tube here, I'm going to end up putting inside the wall here and then doing that same sort of snake S-curve all the way up. So that any of the noise that might go into the cold air return has to actually work its way up and then it gets into the floor upstairs. Now, going over here, I can't remember, I think I had the door in for the bathroom here, so I've done that. I'm just squaring it up now. I'm also working on finishing my HVAC because there is a little 4-inch one here, but I want to do the same sort of thing where I'm going to put a linear slot diffuser on this side here. Outlets, all done, everything's ready to go. Insulation still needs to be done. Storage room still needs a bit of work. Also, I forgot to mention, I pulled ENT conduit. These are 1.5-inch flexible core line conduits to basically each spot. So this one here actually goes up to my living room, and today I just pulled one. This one goes up to my bonus room above the garage. These guys over here each go to the basement here. So if we come all the way back, one of these is going to be on this side of the wall, the other one's going to go on the other side of the wall, and then that way each room, if I ever need to run HDMI, fiber, anything like that in the future, I can pull it through that cable. There's even one back here, so hopefully if I ever need to run Cat 5 or if I need to run something for subwoofers or something like that, that should be good there. I also had to finish drywall blocking for everything. My drywallers are hopefully going to come in next month. Just basically what I'm actually going to do, speaking of drywall, is I was originally going to go with 2 sheets of 5/8, but I realized I can do a lot more with 3/4 inch OSB. And now I'm just going to use OSB. This is actually regular plywood. This is about twice the price here in Canada. But I'm going to, for the rest of the basement, I'm going to do 1 layer of OSB, and then I'm going to have the drywallers put in the 1 layer of 5/8. That way, whenever I need to mount cabinets, need to mount my TV, speakers, anything like that, it just screws right into the plywood. So I don't have to worry about trying to find studs or anything through an 1.25 inches of material. So that'll be great. Just trying to think what else. I think that's most of it. There's still a little bit to be done for some Cat 5s. He's got to go into the garage. That's going to be for security cameras. A couple there need to go outside to go for security cameras. And there, for the most part, I think that's it. So the next update should be coming in right after the electrical work is done, because I pulled all the lines for that. And then hopefully in about 3-4 weeks, this will all be OSB and drywall on here. And then we'll be looking into paint.